nature which is my dharma. My inherent nature is my dharma. It's not that we impose ourselves with certain rules. Not necessarily that you have to impose yourself with certain rules. Dharma, in higher understanding, is your inherent nature of who you are. What is your quality and what are your qualifications? The qualities which in turn defines your qualification. That is your dharma. For example, the dharma of water is to flow. We have discussed before many times. The dharma of sugar is to be sweet. That is the eternal characteristic, eternal nature of that substance. That is the quality of that substance. And because of that, the sugar qualifies to be sweet because of the quality of sweetness. It qualifies to give sweetness. So, similarly, the inherent characteristic or nature or the qualities with which we have taken birth, everybody has got certain qualities, right? Some may be very good in sports, some may be very good in education, studies, some may be very good in art, right? Everybody has got certain qualities, and based on those qualities, you are qualified for certain things and you're good disqualified for certain things, right? Similarly, based on our qualities, we have got certain qualifications. And we have understood that to do anything, you have to be qualified, right? You need some qualification. Anything you want to do, you need some qualification. For example, you want to cook. You need some qualification to cook. You can't just go and cook. You want to drive a bike. You need some qualification to drive a bike. You should know how to balance the bike, how to take gears, and you should know some basic things about bike. If you are qualified enough to balance the bike and to take gears, then you can drive the bike. But if you don't know how to, if you don't have the qualities, prerequisite qualities, this is called dharma. The prerequisite qualifications is called the dharma. So, for a human being to be called as a human being, one has to follow dharma. If one cannot follow dharma, he cannot be considered as a human being. So dharma, to follow dharma or to discuss about dharma, first of all, one has to come to the platform of a human being. In that sense, we all are qualified. What do you think? Are we qualified? So what is the qualification to be a human being? Let us first discuss that. What is the qualification to be a human being? What do you think? It is going like this. What is the quality to be a human being? Is it that if anybody has 2 legs and 2 hands, he can be considered as a human being? Does the physiognomy defines a human being? Is it that it is sufficient? The physiognomy is sufficient to define a human being? Is it? No. Then what else is required? Certain level of intelligence and dharma. Yeah. So dharma. Certain level of intelligence to do what? To do what the same things animals are doing? Karma. But to perform activities, you need to be first qualified, right? We see to do any activity, there is some qualification which is required. And to do the activities of a human being, to act as a human being, there needs certain qualifications, right? You need to be qualified. If you don't qualify to act as a human being, then how you will act as a human being? So what is expected from a human being? A human being is expected that what is the qualification which no, which defines a human being. What is that qualification? The only qualification which makes a human being distinct from any other species is his prerogative to follow dharma. That is the only qualification, is to understand higher nature of reality, real nature of reality. If somebody fails to understand the higher nature of reality, of what exactly reality is, and he's just busy and eating, sleeping, eat, sleep, and be merry. If he's just busy in that platform, then he's as good as an animal. So to discuss about dharma, first you have to come to the platform for human being. We should be ready to inquire. Some higher inquiries should be there of life, not just where is food, where is sex, where is sleep, where is some comfort. That is for the animals. Right? Do they have any other inquiry? The only inquiry is where is food, where is shelter, where is sex. But if human beings also limit themselves to this level of inquiry, then they're as good as animals. They are not eligible to discuss about dharma. They're not eligible because they don't have any inquiry of life. So the eligibility to discuss about dharma is to be a human being. One should have certain inquiries, higher inquiries about life. And when one qualifies to be a human being, he can discuss about dharma and what is the nature of reality. Then he can understand that. And when he understands that, then he qualifies to act in certain spiritual order of life. There are certain, that is called Varna Ashram Dharma. Based on the physical qualifications and based on the spiritual inclination, the whole society is divided into 4 classes of skills and 4 classes of spiritual order. Four classes of material skills and 4 classes of spiritual inclination. So that is called Varna Ashram Dharma. So to qualify one to act on the platform of dharma, one has to determine one's qualities, what quality he has. And based on the quality which he has, he can follow a particular dharma. Like, for example, if somebody has the quality of a Brahmana, he can follow the dharma of a Brahmana. Then he is eligible. Otherwise, he is not eligible to follow the dharma of a Brahmana. He should have first the quality of a Brahmana. Then only he can follow the dharma of a Brahman. It's not that you don't have the quality and you claim yourself to be a Brahman. That's why the whole Varnashram system got degraded into caste system. That people don't have qualities, but they demand eligibility. They demand they don't have the prerequisites, but they're demanding. Right? So to execute a dharma, to execute dharma, one should first of all see for the prerequisites, which is required, the qualifications which is required to follow the dharma. Based on the qualifications, he's supposed to follow a dharma. And if you're not qualified, then you are not fit. Like, for example, there are many citizens in the same country who are not qualified to be in the country. So they are put in where? Huh? Where? Yeah, jail, detention center, or whatever. They are put in jail because they are not fit to be there in this society. So similarly, in the Varnashrama system also, there were certain people who were not fit to be there in the Varnashrama. They were called outcasts. They are not fit to be there because they are not behaving as per the prerequisites which is required to function in a particular society. Now somebody may say, sir, this caste system is bad. Because why it is bad? Because you discriminate that he is outcast, he is untouchable. But it's not that the modern society doesn't discriminate, right? And that's why all the jails are bulging out, right? Why all jails are filled? Because you are drawing a line. that these people are fit, these people are not fit. It's not that we are not drawing the line. So we have to draw the line, who is fit and who is not fit. Who is fit to be considered as a follower of this society, as a member of this society, is not fit to be a member of this society. So the criteria for to be fit in this society is we have some criteria. But to fit in the Varnashrama society, where people are classified in spiritual orders, Brahmachari, Grihast, Vanaprasthas, and people are classified based on their skills, the qualification is even more higher. And if you don't fit in those qualifications, then you're out. The qualifications are even higher. So to practice dharma or to follow dharma, it is very much inherent to our nature. And so don't consider that when we discuss about dharma, it is not something which we are discussing of some extracurricular activity. Are you interested? Devanshu, are you interested to follow dharma? Are you interested to follow dharma? No. Your name is Devanshu. So no, this is not a question of interest. This is the question of the inherent nature. We all have got certain inherent nature and we have got certain qualities, and based on that qualities, we will be eligible to follow certain dharma. And if you don't have that qualities, then you are not eligible to follow dharma. Similarly, for human being to be a human being, there is certain qualities which you need to have. If you don't have that qualities, you cannot be considered as a human being. Therefore, you cannot be a part of this dharmic society. You go out of this dharmic society. You stay out. So it is required that all of us, we should try to behave on the platform of dharma. Then only we can be happy. Otherwise, there will be confusions. So it is said that we can see this shloka. Parabhavastavan abodh jato yavan jigyasat atma tattvam yavat kriyastavadidam manobhai karmatmakam yena sharira bandha. So it says, Parabhavastavan, that as long as one doesn't inquire about the spiritual values of life, one is defeated. Parabhavas, the word means defeated. His life is defeated. If he doesn't, yavan na jigyasata atma tattvam. If you don't inquire, jigyasata means jigyasa, inquire. Na jigyasa, you don't inquire. About what? Atma tattvam. Nature of intrinsic reality. About who you are. What is the purpose of life? Now we don't feel the need to inquire. So if you don't feel the need to inquire, then what is the result? Parabhavas. Your life is defeated. The human life has got wasted. Abodh jato. So yavat kriyas tavadidam, be it simple or pious, karma has its resultant actions. If a person engaged in any kind of karma, his mind is called karmatmaka, colored with fruitive activity. As long as the mind is impure, consciousness is unclear. And as long as one is absorbed in fruitive activity, he has to accept a material body. Very complex. So what it says, the kind of activity you do, a similar kind of impression goes in the mind. Right? For example, compare the mind with a glass of water. Now, if you put one drop of blue ink, the whole glass of water will reflect that blue color. If you put one drop of pink, the whole glass of water will reflect that thing. That is called karma-atmaka. Based on the karma, the mind becomes karma-atmaka, colored with that same activity. The kind of colored activity you do, the activity colored with goodness, activity colored with ignorance, and activity covered with lot of passion. So the kind of color you put in your activity, right? All the activities are same? No. Some are pious, some are sinful, some are ignorant. The kind of activity which you do, the color of that activity, the mode of that activity, a similar mode, the mind gets affected with. Karmatmaka. Yena sharira bandha. And because the mind gets colored with certain activity, then what it results into, you see, the last word, what it says, Abhishek, the last word of the shloka. You're not able to read? Sharira bandha. Sharira bandha. Karmatmakam yena sharira bandha. Because of that color of the mind, how the mind got colored? Based on the color of the activity. The mind got colored with certain color. And because based on the color of the mind, what will happen? Sharir bandha, a kind of body will be awarded. A kind of body will be awarded. If you color your mind with the activities of a hawk, pig, I want to sleep, and then I want to eat, and then again I want to sleep, and then again I want to eat, then what happens? Your mind is just colored with to eat more and to sleep more. Then Sharir bandha. Then again another body is pig. Because eat and sleep. The whole body has two things, a big belly and a big mouth. You see the mouth of a pig, it opens this much, right? Like that. Our mouth opens this much. But if you have that desire, I want to eat a lot, then you get the body of a pig. You eat a lot, then you get a big mouth and a big belly. You see the body of a cow, the whole body just has belly. Because he has to eat, and the whole day she keeps eating. So the kind of activity you do, it creates an impression in the mind, and based on that impression, your next body will be awarded. Right? So it is very important that one should inquire about the intrinsic reality of life. If you don't inquire, then you get implicated in your own lower activities. Because you don't have any higher aim and purpose, then you get implicated in your lower activities. So as long as the mind is impure, consciousness is unclear, and he has to accept a material body. So what we need to understand, we need to understand who am I? Atma Tattvam. What it is called? Atma Tattvam. Tattvam means the science. Tattvam. Tattvam means science. To understand in detail, तत्व से समझो मतलब डिटेल में समझो, आत्मा को के ऊपर अनुसंधान करो, इसको डिटेल से समझो. That is called आत्म तत्वम. Understand the reality of Atma, about your own self. Atma is what? Self. Understand your own self. We are understanding so many things, right? But except our own self, we are busy in understanding all the different aspects. You see the condition of the society. They're not bothered of their own self, and they're bothered of everything else, and they want to be happy. They do everything else, and they consider they will be happy. How you will be happy? By doing external things. You need to work on your own self. Then only you will be happy. But you don't give time to work on your own self. You keep working on these dead objects to make a car, to make a turbine, to make a motor. You are working on dead objects. You are not working on your own self. And you expect that you will be happy. Is this foolishness? Yes. This is the contradictory situation of the material. So the Bhagavatam says, until unless you start working on your own self, about the nature of your own self, who you are, what is your real nature, you have to understand the nature of reality. What is the nature of reality? Is the nature of reality matter, or is the nature of reality spirit? Spiritual. Either it is material or it's spiritual. What is reality? You have to understand. And if it is material, then it's okay. So it says, who am I? Now start considering who am I? This is the question. Then ask, am I this body? Am I this finger? Am I this leg? Am I this chest? Am I this hands? Am I this body? No. I'm neither the hand, nor the leg, nor the finger, nor the body, nor the face, nor the forehead. Who am I? I'm something different. Right? These all things belong to me. We don't say that I am I finger or I hand. No. We say my hand, my finger, my body. That means You are not the body belongs to you. As we say, my t-shirt, my pant. I'm not the pant, I'm not the t-shirt. It is mine. It belongs to me. Similarly, my body, it belongs to me. I am not the body. I am not the finger. So our existence is something different from this body. But what is this education system? Is the education system bothered about this? And what is the result of this education system? What we are studying? Big universities are there. And what is the result? Huh? Hippies. Hippies. Big universities are producing hippies. Hippies means simply dull people. Either they are smoking, intoxicating, or having illicit sex, or just burden on earth. Good for nothing. Just trying to exploit their own life, exploit others' life. They're destroying their own life, trying to destroy nature. Lazy people, right? Unintelligent, lazy people. All these big universities, what is the situation? Right? And then there is protest. So much protest is there by the students, by the people. There are no jobs, there are no vacancies. People are protesting. Right? And there are drug addicts. So many students are the drug addicts. So many students are indulged in pornography. And any civilization who is promoting pornography, is it a civilized? Is this civilization? It can never be a civilization. The more number of people who are engaged in pornography and who are engaged in intoxication, can it be considered advanced civilization? No. It can be considered the degradation of civilization. So big universities, what they are promoting, all these things, mass scale, people are becoming hippies, drug addicts, right? Womanizers, all the day, this hunting. So this is the situation. Because why is the situation? Because there is no knowledge of the actual substance. What is it? It's not that they are to be blamed. They are not to be blamed because they don't know. It is the responsibility of the society and the teachers and the parents to give them direction. But there is nobody. There is no actual knowledge of what is a real substance. So they're just sitting idle. And in the idle minds, devil's workshop, there's nothing to do. Whole day they're just sitting idle. What they do? Think. They just plan all the devilish ideas and all the devilish things goes on. So one should understand that what is there after death, what is the knowledge of after death, the knowledge of who we are, why we are here. We should try to inquire about this. When Srila Prabhupada went to Russia, so there was a professor, his name was Professor Potosky. So that Professor Potosky, Srila Prabhupada asked him, is there life after death? So he said, Swamiji, there is no life after death. This is the only life. And he was a big professor of Indian studies, Vedic studies in Russia. He was studying Vedas and Indology. And he said there is no life after death. So Srila Prabhupada said, such big professor. And they say there is no life after death. Such a poor fund of knowledge. No idea of what is soul. And they claim to be big professor. And these are the people who are guiding the society. And they think there is no life after death. Such a poor fund of knowledge. And these are the people who are guiding the society. So where the society will go? So there people are becoming drug addicts, people are because aimless, purposeless life, where it will end? It will end in destruction. There is no aim, there is no purpose, there is no knowledge. So people are just exploiting their life. So not knowing the value of life, one is busy and producing and enjoying material products. So what is the philosophy of modern society? Consumerism. What is the philosophy of consumerism? The philosophy of consumerism is work and spend. Earn more money and spend more money. Right? And to do that, there is a philosophy which is being maintained. There is no God, there is nobody in control. The philosophy of life is to enjoy. So earn more money, work hard to earn more money and spend more money. So all the facilities there. This is the life. What is life? Work hard, don't waste time. Why? Why not to waste time? So that you work hard. If you waste time, then you'll not work hard and you'll not have money, and then who will buy our products? So you don't waste time. Work hard. Be disciplined. Disciplined for what? So that you can work hard and earn money. And so that you can spend to buy hamburgers and pizza and buy Mercedes. So that you can buy their products. So this is the philosophy. Everything is just all the good philosophy. Don't waste time. Be focused. Work hard. Ultimately, for what? To earn money and to spend money, right? And ultimately, who is getting benefited? The MNCs. Even if you are focused and you work hard and you don't waste time, ultimately, for all your good qualities, it is benefiting the companies, because then you'll earn more money and then you spend more money. Right? You see the cycle? Sir, I'm not getting focus in my studies. Can you help me? Why do you want focus in your studies? So you want to earn money and you want to spend money. This is the whole purpose of life. Why do you why you got this idea that earning money and spending money will give you happy? Why do you feel like that? Because this is being propagated. This has become the philosophy of life. Right? We don't question. Do you question? Anybody here? Do we question this? We don't question. We're just following this. But if there is said that there is a soul and there is life after death, immediately there is question. No, that cannot be. Then what is the goal of life? What do you have anything better to offer? Yes, I have better to offer. What do you have? Hamburgers, pizzas, cars, bikes. And why? Why do you feel that this will give heaven? Because this company person is saying the advertisements are there, right? The advertisements are coming, so it must be. If I buy that product, I must be happy because advertisements are saying you must be happy. So the whole culture, this culture of consumerism, the cycle of work and spend. So when we inquire about Atma Tattva, then it breaks the cycle of this consumerism, because it directly strikes this theology of this is the only life. When you consider this is the only life, then the only philosophy is let us enjoy this life to the best possible extent. And all the education is meant to prove that. Darwin's theory, you have come from monkeys. Now it became more evident. If you have come from monkeys, then it must be, we should much know, because we are monkeys. And what monkey does? Enjoys. So let us enjoy. There is no higher goal in life, because ultimately they are monkeys. So it even more got stamped that yes, what we are doing is correct. Earn money and spend money and enjoy. Because ultimately we are monkeys, we have come from monkeys. And there is no higher goal of life. So the education system is working to prove it that yes, this is the goal of life. Ultimately, why? Because there are few people in the upper strata of the society who are becoming more and more rich, and they are putting the philosophy of life. They are giving you the philosophy. So if you don't get the philosophy of life, if you don't try to understand the philosophy of life through the Vedas, there is a person who is sitting there, out there, and he will stamp you as your mind. If he will employ you. If you don't want to get employed by Krishna in his service, there is a CEO sitting there. He will employ you in his service. And you will earn and give it to him. You will earn paisa. For every paisa, he will earn a rupee. Right? Whatever hard work you do, for each paisa, you give him a rupee for that. Right? And you feel that you're enjoying a lot. But whatever you're enjoying, the CEO is enjoying even more to you. many more times than you. So they are becoming richer and richer, and we are being exploited. We are being given this philosophy of life to earn and spend. So this is a shloka very nicely and explains the whole situation. Nate vidu swat gatim hi vishnum durashayaye bahiratthamanina Annaya dhane rupaniyamana stepi shatantramurudan nibaddaha. Nate vidu swat gatim hi Vishnu. Because the whole society doesn't know what is the goal of life, what suits their best self-interest. They consider something external as their own self. Right? We consider materialism, matter to be more pleasing than our own self. We consider discussions on our own self to be boring, but discussions on some matter to be interesting. Whereas the matter is external and the self is intrinsic. But we consider the external to be more dear than the internal. This is called durashaya, hope against hope. Trying to hope something, a hope which is never will get fulfilled, which will never get fulfilled. Such a hope. Durashaya. It will never get fulfilled. The hope to be happy through material objects will never get fulfilled because this is external to our nature. This is not our nature. Our nature is spiritual, this is material. How material things can give happiness to a spiritual entity? Are you able to relate it? How material things will give happiness to a spiritual entity? It can never give happiness. Because persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who have therefore accepted as their leader a similar blind man attached to external sense objects cannot understand that the goal of life is to return home back to Godhead and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. As blind men guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall into a ditch, materially attached men led by another materially attached man are bound by the ropes of fruitive labor, which are made by very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering the threefold. Anna yathandhe rupaniya. One blind man is guiding another blind. Nobody knows what is the goal of life, purpose of life. Everybody is blind, and they are guiding another blind man. Nobody knows the reality and the purpose of life. And they claim to be leaders of the society. So that, like Professor Potosky is the big professor in a big university in Russia, and he's saying, Swamiji, there is no life after. And he's studying Indology. Where each and every chapter of the Vedas is written line of the there is no life. So this is the understanding of life. Why? Because to stay in this consumeristic society, there is a book written by one of the very big economists. So it said that two countries cannot progress in this modern economy. Two countries cannot progress in the modern economy. India and China. Why? Because they don't want to leave their culture and tradition. They believe in reincarnation. They think that there is life after death. And they believe in karma. So because of their ideologies like karma and punarjanma, reincarnation, these two countries will never be able to progress in the modern economic system. Why they can't progress? What is the relationship between culture and tradition and economy? One of the most biggest economists is very famous. I'll give you the link on YouTube. He said, what is the relation? We don't understand the relation. We think that why the modern economy, why the culture is collapsing as the modern economy is growing, why the culture is collapsing. We are thinking that it is our fault. It is our fault, not because that you are not able to follow the culture. The fault is that we are trying to follow the culture in a wrong process through this modern economic system. Because the modern economic system, by nature, it doesn't support any tradition. So traditions all over the world have been collapsed. Why? Because the modern economic system, by nature, it says that to advance in this modern economic system, it is very important that all the civilizations have to leave their own culture and tradition. That is clearly told by the inventors of this economic system. They have clearly told to advance in this economic system, one will have to leave his culture, tradition, and all the religious values. Because no culture, no tradition will say to go for a consumeristic outlook to life. Every culture, every tradition will say, have a simple way of life. Don't live a greedy life. Is there any religion who will say be greedy? But the modern economic system grows. The GDP increases when you buy more and more products. Unnecessary manufacture of products and purchase of products. It increases the GDP. The economy grows. But if somebody is simple, if somebody is rooted to one's own tradition, if somebody is rooted to one's own values, and he's satisfied with the basic necessities of life, how the economy will grow? I told you before, if you plant a tree, the economy doesn't grow. If you cut a tree, the economy grows. If there are only normal deliveries, the economy don't grow. But if there are cesarean operations, the economy will grow. If everybody marries, the economy will not grow. Because then the restaurants will not work, because the wife will cook food. How the restaurants will work? But if people don't marry, then they'll go for hotel. They'll go for honeymoon again and again. Because if you're not married, then you'll have children. Then where is the honeymoon? Then you have to take care of the children. But if you don't marry, then there are no children. You do not take the responsibility of children. You can go on wandering here and there. And then tourism will increase. You can go on for restaurant. The restaurant business will increase. The more transaction of money will happen. And economy is all about earning and spending. The more you spend, the economy grows. So you spend. But the whole tradition is not to spend. The whole culture is not to spend. The whole religion says not to spend, to save, and to live a simple life. Right? Not to involve in unnecessary necessities. But how the economy will do? So you see. So to grow in this economy, it is important that one has to leave his own culture and tradition, and one has to change his outlook of life. One has to stop believing in the existence of God. Because till the time you believe in the existence of God, then you have to believe that there is life after death. And then when you believe there is life after death, then how will you function in this economy? Because to function in this economy, the outlook of life should be that this is the only life, and enjoy to the best possible extent and squeeze it as far as possible. Because this is the only life. There is nothing after death. So earn and spend. But there is life after death, then you save. Because there is a long journey again. Right? But if you know the journey is going to end, so whatever money you have, whatever thing you like to spend it. Right or not? Because you know anyhow, whatever I have, it will be taken away. So why not to spend it? But you know that you have to go forward also. Then you like to save. You like to save your time and energy and to prepare for life after death. So the whole economic system is arranged in such a way that it inherently permeates our outlook to life. There is outlook to life being imposed on us. You cannot leave that. It is being imposed on us that there is no life after death, there is no God in control, there is no culture, there is no religion, there is no need of traditions. The only philosophy is earn and spend. Work hard, earn money, and spend. And be focused. Be disciplined. And don't waste time. And go for meditation also. Because you don't meditate on how you work hard, and how you earn money, and then how you spend. Yeah. Everything is as to all the meditation, all the yoga class, all the organic products are making you fit so that you can work hard, earn money, spend money. Right? But this is not the outlook of life. This has to be changed. So what should be the real education? Real education should be Athato Brahma Jigyasa. That since now we have got this human form of life, and that too a civilized human form of life in this Bharat Varsha. So what we should do? We should try to inquire about the nature of higher reality, Brahma Jigyasa. So the nature of higher reality has to be there. There must be some philosophy of life. You must accept some God. Either you accept some CEO as God, VIT Chancellor as God. Many of the faculties in VIT, they put this VIT Chancellor's photo and they put another. You have to accept somebody as God. You cannot live like that. Either you accept your parents as God, you accept the politician Modi as God, or you accept Shah Rukh Khan as God, you worship him. Right? So you will be forced to accept somebody as God. People accepted Lenin as God. Chinese accepted Mao as God. The person who feels the highest number of Chinese, they worship him. You go in China, people worship Mao. Mao Zedong. They worship him. There is no God. But they go to worship Mao. They put gifts, there's a big murti, people stand in queue, and there is an offering, you go and offer to Mao, and you hold hands, pray, and come back. So you have to worship, you're supposed to believe in the existence of God. There may be difference in the level or status of God. There may be difference in the status of God. But some of the other God you will accept. That there is somebody above me and he is my God. And I worship him. Somebody will worship. The Russians worship Lenin. But as far as we are concerned, we worship the most beautiful, the most intelligent, the most powerful, the most opulent, the most famous God. So our God, there can be some many gods. People accept God as per their level of understanding. They accept somebody as God. But as far as Krishna is concerned, so if you see that the kind of descriptions of God, the kind of understanding of God, and what is mentioned as far as Krishna is concerned. So you can see he is the most beautiful, most opulent, most powerful God. So we will discuss more on this mass education. Yeah, this I already have told you. The cycle of earning money and spending money. So what is the difference between materialist and spiritualist? People who consider people who identify with their body, that this body is all in all. So they develop the philosophy of materialism. What is the philosophy of materialism? The goal of life is to earn and spend. Work hard and spend money. This is the goal of life. As per the materialistic theory. The spiritualist theory. Now the materialistic theory accepts to serve the senses, to serve the impulses of the senses. The spiritualists, they serve the master of the senses. The master of the senses is Rishikesh. Krishna, one name is Rishikesh. So he is the master of the senses. So either you become the servant of the senses, or you either you serve the senses or you serve the master of the senses. So if you serve the master of the senses, then you also become the master of the senses. Then nobody can cheat you. Now why people are cheating us? Because we are servant of the senses. They know, all the MNCs and the industrialists, they know that these people, they are hankering for their sensual greed. So they control us. They put some advertisement and we start dancing. Right? We start, our tongue, water drops from our tongue. Why? Because they know that we have this weakness. So if we remain servant of our senses, then we will be exploited. And the society wants that kind of people. Because the society wants customers. Modern economy runs, as many customers are there, the modern economy will be fulfilled. So that's why they are bringing villagers into the city. Because villagers, they are living a simple life. They are not contributing to the so-called economy. They are not buying, they are not spending. They are growing their own food and they are eating. And this is not good. They should not do that. They should purchase food. Nobody should grow food. Nobody should be allowed to grow food, because the more the people will grow food, the economy will go down. People should purchase food from shops, packets. They should give money. The economy will grow. The GDP will rise. And very soon we will become $5 trillion economy. Very soon. It's just that all the villagers should come in the city. And they should stop purchasing products, growing products. They should start purchasing products. Very soon will become $5 trillion economy. And then $10 trillion and $20 trillion. So this is the situation. So now, why the root cause is we are servant of the senses. We don't have any control on our sensual greed. So we become subject to exploitation. We become subject to these nonsense theories which are being imposed on us. And we don't question because our whole intelligence is covered by the sensual impulses. What is there for me? What is there to eat? What is there to see? What is there to enjoy? Simply the whole intelligence is to satisfy the greed of the senses. So in materialistic life, you cannot understand things as it is. You cannot understand reality. The reason is, first reason is we have got 4 defects. I told you before, the 4 defects, anybody remembers? Yes. Imperfect senses, tendency to commit mistakes, cheating propensity, and tendency to get illusion. So we have imperfect senses, and we commit mistakes, and we get illusion. And to hide all this, we cheat. Because we have imperfect senses, and we commit mistakes, but we don't want to accept, so we cheat. So this is the 4 defect we have. So everybody, all the human beings, whosoever is there on this planet, he is having these 4 defects. We cannot overcome this 4 defects. Until the time we have these 4 defects, we are living a conditioned life. Our existence is conditioned by the 4 defects. And because of which, we cannot understand anything properly. You cannot speak anything right. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, in the first chapter and a good portion of second chapter, Arjuna was speaking a lot. He was showing off his knowledge about religion and philosophy. And he was saying, Arjuna, Krishna, we should not fight because as per Dharma, this is not good. And if you fight, then all the men will die and the women will be unprotected. And then there will be exploitation. And then there will be unwanted children will take birth. And a lot of analysis of the whole situation. And then he started crying. A lot of analysis, a lot of display of intelligence, but the end is frustration. Why? Because he's imperfect. He's conditioned by the defects of his senses. He cannot speak anything right. Because what he will understand? He's conditioned soul. What he will understand? He's trying to analyze the reality of life with his imperfect senses. The senses are imperfect. And he's trying to become hero. Krishna said, Asocyanam sochastam pragyavadamsha bhasase gatasu nagatasu sha nanu sochati pandita. That you're a fool. You're trying to be intelligent. You show yourself very intelligent. But you are a fool number 1. Krishna said. He didn't say directly, but he said, no learned men talk like this. A learned men, the learned men, they don't lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So instead of telling you are a fool, he said, no learned men talk like this. That means you're a fool. Right or not? You're talking like a fool. So, how much ever we try to display our intelligence, how much ever we try to show that we are good, we are very nicely analyzing our life and we have got a very nice understanding and we are very disciplined. We all are subjected to the conditions of our senses. We cannot overcome the conditions of your senses. You are limited by your own senses. By the greed, by the lust, by the anger. So you have to go to a higher level. So Arjuna, what he did? That now I take your shelter and now you tell me what is good for me. So all of us, to know the higher nature of reality and to know the deep truth of our own self, we should not try to comment or we should not try to do the analysis by our own strength. We should try and go to surrender some higher authority who is liberated from this 4 defects. The only way to get knowledge free from 4 defects, how you can get knowledge free from 4 defects? Through the Vedas. Because Vedas are not made by any human being who is subjected to 4 defects. Vedas are of Avishya. It is not made by man. Anything made by man will have these 4 defects. It will have some or the other error. Because man by nature has defects. So whatever he will manufacture will have defects. So whatever knowledge he will make, we will have it. So we thought we will make plastics, and now in the oceans, no, the analysis is there are more plastics than fish by weight in the oceans. There are more plastics by weight than the fish. You see, this is the education of modern human. This is the creation of modern human. So we claim ourselves to be very intelligent. We show ourselves to be very intelligent, but ultimately we cannot even help ourselves but to help others. We cannot create good situation for our own self. We are exploiting nature. We are trying to improve nature. What is that company's name? There is a company making the world better. Technology for a better world. We are trying to make the world better. What better the world has become? There is more pollution. There is more exploitation. Now people are working even more harder. If you ask your grandfathers, they were working 3 months in a year. Right? If you ask any farmer, now they're working, now they do agriculture for money. But if you grow grains for 1 year, an average farmer, if he grows grains for 1 year, it lasts for 5 years. You don't have to cultivate every year. 1 year grains, 1 year crop will last for 5 years. You see. Why? Where is the need to work hard? Why to work hard? The nature is giving abundantly. But we are not working hard because to get our necessities. They are working hard to fill the pockets of those few people in the upper strata. And the GDP is rising. But is there equal distribution of wealth? Wealth is getting polarized. And you see, last 50 years, the richer has become more richer and the poorer has become more poorer. So where there is development? Where is the question of development? Development is just for namesake. Development. And nobody is asking. The poorer is becoming even more poorer. He is struggling even more hard. And the richer is becoming even more rich. Now his billion has gone into trillion and later zillion. And we don't know what next what number will come. And the poor is struggling just for 2 meals a day. Where there is development, there's no exploitation. So the question is why? Why? Because we are trying to make this world better by our own senses, and our senses are important. Till that time I tried it, he ended up crying in frustration. When he surrendered to Krishna, he got knowledge and he was happy. All his problems solved. So try to understand that we are limited. Our senses are defectful. Our existence is conditioned. You cannot see, you cannot hear. What you can see is a very limited range, visible range. What you can hear is a very limited range, audible range. And after that also you get illusion. You see something to be something else. You hear something to be something else. Right? One thing is you cannot see a lot of things. And whatever you see, in that also you get illusion. And in that also you have the cheating propensity, that we cheat also. Because we don't like to be called limited. We like to be called perfect. Who doesn't like to be called perfect? So we cheat. So when we have this many defects, how you will get knowledge? Not possible. So in this way, it's better to go to a spiritual master. We should surrender to a self-reliant spiritual master, and he will give us knowledge from the Vedas, which are words of God. And by the knowledge from the Vedas, by hearing the words of God, our life will be happy, because God's knowledge or the knowledge in the Vedas are not prone to effects. And then our life will be happy. Hare Krishna. Is there any question regarding this? Making the world better. The materialists are making the world better by technology. Is the world becoming better? No, the world is not becoming better. Wealth is being polarized, nature is being polluted, and we are developing. And we are developing. What is this development? We don't know. So the only development is inquiry about your own self. When you inquire about yourself, you will be happy. By inquiry about matter, you won't be happy. Because it is external to you. It is not you. It is dull dead matter. It is not you. You have to know yourself, who you are. Somebody says, buy this phone, you'll be happy. What the phone has to do with me? Because you don't know who am I. So anybody associates you with something. No, people manipulate. People are manipulating us. We are getting manipulated. And we get manipulated because we are a question mark. We have a question mark on our head. And the very fact that there is nothing in this world which is confused about its own identity and existence. It is only these human beings who are confused about their own identity and existence. And they were not confused before 150 years or before 200 years. It is just because of the last 200 years, this modern education system and this consumeristic society which has come up. This capitalistic society, where capitalists are running the society. And they have and the capitalistic philosophy is being given. This is capitalistic philosophy. Work hard and earn money. Be focused, don't waste time. This kind of philosophy. This is capitalistic philosophy. And what is the history of capitalism? Last 150 years. Before that, what was the philosophy? Work hard and earn money and spend. Nothing like that. It is because these industries came into existence, a philosophy was being driven to run this economic system. Because there should be constant supply of laborers and customers. Like that. There should be constant supply. And for that, there should be technology to transport the laborers, to bring the laborers to the factory. And metros and railways are not meant for our enjoyment. First of all, try to realize this. They're meant for transport materials and laborers. Railways were constructed by Britishers. What? For the welfare of Indians? To transport raw materials. Something which was constructed for exploitation, we are trying to use it for the welfare. It won't be possible. It is the nature of that is meant to exploit. Now the Britishers were using that. Now the Britishers have gone, and now they have come in the form of MNCs. They came in the form of East India Company or some colonists. Now they have come in the form of MNCs. Now they're using the same infrastructure, railways and everything for their benefit. So the metros, the railways, and all these technologies are just meant to favor the few industrialists. So that people can easily come to the industries and they can go back to their home. To transport them and to send them back from far off distance. Because labor is required, no? Roads are meant so that more and more bikes can be produced. If roads will not be there, from where the bikes production will happen? To produce more and more bikes and cars, the government has to make more and more roads. So roads, bridges, metros, and all this infrastructure is made not for the welfare of the citizens. It's just that more and more production can happen and more capitalists can flourish. Just for that. The whole network is just to support a particular class of people. And so that they can grow and they can exploit. And they can grow and they can exploit. And we think that, oh, very nice metro has come, very nice railway station has come. But for what we discover? We just for this transportation of labor and raw materials. And everything is done in such sophisticated ways that people don't realize. And they're very focused. They're trying to not waste any time so that they can work hard and earn money and give to the companies. You earn from the company and you give back to the company. And you are left with nothing. Right? So is it you are able to relate with it? Is it happening? Yeah. Okay, so we will have some short meeting. So let us relax our minds with some intense discussion. So try to come regularly and hear these discussions, and then gradually you will be able to see reality as it is. You will have clear vision of how things are working. And very soon we are going to have a very good library here. So whatever I am speaking, I have read from certain books. So those books will be available here. You can also take advantage of it. And wonderful books being written by many scholars, and especially our beloved spiritual master, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He has written many books, so you can take advantage of. So today's Prashadam was sponsored by one of your seniors. He's in fourth year, so he got a very good placement. So he wanted to thank God. So he has sponsored Prashadam for students. So his name is Shubham, and his friend Ajitesh has come on behalf of him. He's there in his own home. So today's Prashadam is sponsored by him. Hare Krishna. So we'll chant Hare Krishna, we'll do Kirtan, and then after we'll take Krishna. Hare Krishna.